but it's still the same thing. He said here, he said, and God calls them profane. Turn to Ezekiel 22. And it says here, and God had no choice but to punish Israel, unfortunately, because they refused to listen. And see, we're at a time where he's talking to us in America, that even from a lot of the practices that, you know, we're the land of free, you can basically do what you want to do. And he's talking to us, and just because you can do it don't mean you should do it. Yeah, you can walk in Piggly Wiggly and steal the grapes, but do that mean you should steal them? No. Come on now. He said, because when you look at Ezekiel 22 and 26, he said, your priests have violated my instructions and they have defiled my holy things. They made no distinction between what is holy and what is not. They do not teach my people the difference between what is ceremonially clean and what is unclean. They disregard my 7 days, so I am dishonored amongst you. He said, so even with the priests, he said the preachers ain't even telling the people what's right and what's wrong. He said, I'm going to punish. He said, because as a preacher, as a priest, you have an obligation to teach the people of God what's true, what's clean, and what's not clean. And when we don't do that, we're bringing judgment upon ourselves. Because see, this is when he was telling Ezekiel, I'm going to punish the priests. Because they ain't teaching my people nothing. Y'all see that verse 22? He said, your priests have violated my instructions, and you have defiled my holy thing. You took my holy people and you let them go do trunk or treat and all this kind of stuff when it's worshiping the devil. Halloween is the #1 satanic holiday. Because you got to understand that when you celebrate Halloween, that it's a Celtic pagan holiday, that when you begin to say trick or treat, see, well, it came about that when they felt when dead people, this is what they would do. They would get a jack-o'-lantern. It's how people, they come out there, you know, you cut out the jack-o'-lantern and they put the candle in there. And see, what happened is, it's for all those dead spirits to come and get something, to get a blessing, so to speak. And that's why it's trick or treat. You don't give a treat for those evil spirits that come. They're going to release a curse on you. And so we don't understand that we're playing, saying curse me, and we're teaching our children to curse. Because you got to understand that during this time, Satanists, they call upon evil spirits to be released. And these spirits are roaming around, because I'm going to show you. Now we're going to go to them. We're going to go to the, I did my research. And it says here, it begins with the Celtics in Ireland. The Celtics were pagan nature worshippers who had many gods, including the sun god. And they worshiped this god because this god was the god that, you know, the sun makes things grow. And so it's where they will continue to say, you know what, we want to worship God because He's making our crops grow. He's blessing us. We just got over the fall, and so now we're getting ready for winter time. And so we just want to bless our God. And it says the Celtics observe this new year because, see, they look at November the 1st as their new year. And it said, which is marked the harvest time, beginning the cold and dark winter. It says from October the 31st to November the 2nd, the Celtics celebrated a 40-hour festival called Samhain. They believed that Samhain was the pagan lord of the dead. And it says those who died during these previous years decided what form that they would take for next year. So that they believe that when somebody died, that they don't just die completely, that their souls are reincarnated. So they begin to celebrate during this 48-hour period for those souls to come forth. Listen now. And it says, and the souls will either pass to humans or they either will pass to animals. It says most evil of the bad souls or spirits will take the forms of cats. That's why they say that even with the black cat represent Halloween, because those were considered the evil spirits will go into black cats. It says the Celtic worship tried to bribe him with their gifts. And it says the world of these gods was believed to make visible to mankind. The gods played tricks on the people. And if there was a time of fraught with danger, charged with fear and full of supernatural episodes, sacrifices would be given to these spirits of every kind were thought to be vital. Without them, the Celtics believed that they would not prevail over the perils of seasons. So in other words, they believed that they will worship this 48-hour festival because they believed that if they didn't offer a sacrifice, that their God won't bless their crops next season. So they specifically, during these 2 days, they spend time calling up evil spirits to manifest in the earth realm. And it says, on the night of October the 31st, the eve of the New Year's, the Celtic, after harvesting their crops and storing them for the coming winter, they begin the festivals. They meet up on hilltops in the dark oaks, and they build huge sacred bonfires to frighten away evil spirits and to honor the sun god.